are back with the 600-gallon Asian jungle, and I can definitely call it a jungle aquarium now. But what I can't call it is I can see from front to back 4 feet aquarium. So we're going to try to remedy that in this video. We're going to do some water changes, throw in some activated carbon, and try to get the clarity such that we can see the fish swimming all the way in the back there on our 6 foot wide, 3 foot tall jungle wall of wood and plants back there. Pretty much where you see that rainbow shark in the back. So let's see if we can get the water clarity to match the plant growth in the 600-gallon Asian jungle aquarium. Okay, so adding that massive wood wall in the back of the 600-gallon Asian jungle aquarium put a lot of tannins in the water. And so even with the powerful lighting up there and raised up, I still wasn't getting the penetration because the clarity of the water, there was so much tannins in there. So, doing some partial water changes. I'm going to do a couple of 300-gallon partial water changes, which is about a half of the tank, 600-gallon tank. And we're going to try to clear the tannins out of there, as well as I might set up one of my FX6s as a polishing filter with just some pads and a bunch of carbon in it, and see if we can't get the water super clear, because we're looking 4 feet back into the aquarium there, so you really need good water clarity to be able to see that far back, especially with that wall of wood back there. It's actually very intricate. So there's a lot of room in there for the fish to go. And when I first put it in, I remember being able to see in there really well. And it was awesome seeing all these guys going in and out of there. So I want to get that back. So that's the plan. I'm going to go ahead and finish this water change. We'll fill it back up, and we'll see what kind of progress we get. Do a little sneak peek of Plant Wars Part 8. We see the one lily pad actually made it all the way up to the top, so that is cool. A lot of more runners coming out. The other one, I had to relocate from over here to over here because I basically feed and it kind of goes left to right, and they really scavenge hard over in this area, so they were messing with it too much. So I think I'm better off having it here, and it can certainly grow out into this big open space. And I have diverted the inlet, the water coming into the aquarium even a little more to create that nice big calm space in the middle there. So hopefully that will be full of lily pads pretty soon. So after another big water change, you can see it is definitely getting better in terms of clearing up the tannins, getting much more clear in here, able to see all the way in the back. There's a gold barb who's swimming in the wood all the way back there. And I can see them pretty well over here. Still a little bit dark over there where there's a thicker wood wall, but way better. But at any rate, we're going to take it further than this. So we're going to not only just change the water, we're going to go ahead and set up this FX6 here. I've got it all cleaned out, all of the sponges cleaned out and everything. And what we're going to do is I filled up a bunch of bags, 3 bags of activated carbon. So this stuff right here. So I go ahead and, with large tanks, I get it in bulk, and I get the bulk bags, and I set them up like this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these in each one of these containers. And you can see right now, I've overfilled. Well, I might be able to squish it in there. I'll either squish it in or I'll put a little bit back out, because the bag's overfilled a little bit. But let me get these chambers set up, and I'll show you the end result. Okay, there's each one set up. I kind of needed 2 hands to push those down in there, because I'm doing the maximum amount of activated carbon that I can, because that's the whole point of this, is to polish the water. So I've taken out these red containers and the middle filter pads to make the maximum amount of room for activated carbon. My assistant is inspecting it, and I'm informed it's ready to go. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll stack these guys up. Okay, we got them all stacked up, and we're going to go ahead and get them back in the filter. Then I'm going to take the filter, well, I'm going to take the hose and fill up the filter, and then we'll get it connected. I figured while we're looking at jungle aquariums, we'll give a 600-gallon a chance to settle down after the water change, give it a little bit of time for the activated carbon to do its thing, and we'll go out and we'll take a look at the 125-gallon Mbuna, pretty much jungle river aquarium. Specifically, I'll show you all the different groups of babies. That tank is exploding with different groups of babies, and we'll see if we can coax them out with a little food, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the babies in the Malawi 125 are growing up a little bit. I still can't tell if they're yellow labs or I also have Williams Eye blue lips in here, and I'm not sure what they are. There is a bunch of them everywhere, and I've also, like I think I might have mentioned once before, is I did notice a new group of babies that are smaller than those guys over on the far other side of the tank here, and of course there's more of these guys over here too, but I also noticed smaller guys that I think might be Turkana jewels, because the Turkana male and female, they've been guarding a spot back there. They've got him in the back. He's just come forward a little bit, so I have a feeling I have at least Turkana babies and either yellow labs, Williams Eye, blue lips, or possibly something else. I don't know if one of my other species of Mbuna, if their babies start off yellow and change colors or not. Hard to tell, but yeah, there is quite a bit of them in there. Should bring out everybody. Yeah, more of the babies. I'm thinking there might even be two groups of the yellow babies as well, because there's definitely some very distinct size differences between them. Don't think that's all one group. I am looking forward though to seeing the other babies. Hopefully they are Turkanas, because I would actually like to have more of those guys in here, especially more of the males, more of that bright red, beautiful bright red. Because they do have a lot of blue right now, even though they're all hiding because the scary camera is out, you know. Doesn't matter, I can sit right here, I can put my arm in the tank, doesn't bother them. As soon as that camera comes out, uh-oh. And there's the big dolphin up there. We've got a pair, a male-female pair of dolphin cichlid. One day will be the big, well, he's the big fish right now, but one day there'll be the much bigger fish. But right now he's hiding in the cave, afraid of the camera. Thankfully, they need to learn from these babies. These babies aren't afraid. These Turkana jewels aren't afraid. Rusty, he's not as afraid, I guess, as the other guys. Okay, so that's the water clarity results after 2 partial water changes, with each water change being, you know, at least 300 gallons, 3 to 4, somewhere in there, probably closer to 3. But so a lot of improvement, a lot of tannins out of there, but still not that ultimate clarity to the back, which is why I was talking about putting the carbon in the canister filters. All right, so you saw where I set up the canister filter with all the carbon, but I don't know about you guys, but if I get an FX6 and I just put it on my tank and I just run it forever, only turning it off to clean it and put it immediately back on, it's fine. But anytime I take it, leave it dry, like out in my shed for a year, bring it in, try to set it up, I always struggle with the motors. You know, I clean them out, figuring that probably, you know, the gunk in there is all tightened up and seized up, so I get them all cleaned out, take them all apart, and turn them on with my hand pushing on there, and it seems like it's spinning. I get them on the unit and they never seem to work. So I actually tried 3 of these pumps. I've had 3 of these guys, and no luck with, well, no luck with these 2. I forgot the third one, the shaft broke on it, so that pump didn't work anyway. So remember, that was another reason why these things annoyed me. But I was only going to use them for a polishing filter for the carbon, because you're going to move a lot of water through it. But the reality of it is, it's not the only way to do that. So we have a sump. We have a lot of water coming. We have a lot of water coming through, and we've got a certain couple channels where the water flow is targeted. And these are perfect spots to put the carbon bags here and here and here, and then right before the pump. So we got plenty of spots to do it. And I guess on the bright side is, man, that water lettuce is doing great. Instead of just having 3 of these guys, because we were limited, I have more carbon and more bags, so I can do a lot more bags in here. So I'm going to load this up. I'm going to use all my carbon, and I'll load up as many bags as I can, and I'll spread them out between these 3 different zones. But in the meantime, I might as well go ahead and do another partial water change while I'm messing with this. So we'll see if we can get full clarity all the way to the back, to that wood wall back there. I want to be able to see those little fish swimming in and out of the wood root back there, all the way up. All right, so let me get this going. We'll get the water change going, and then we'll take a look back. Okay, so the pumps are off on the 600 gallon, and we're draining it down with the sump pump. And I guess just a little aquarium keeping tip. You know, if you got smaller fish, like in the 600 gallon here, and you don't want to suck them up in your pump, what I like to do is put the pump on top of some Matala mat. It's plenty porous for the water to go through into the sump pump, but it keeps any of the little fish out of there, because I don't know about you, but my fish, as soon as the pump's been in there for a minute, they're no longer afraid of it, and they're all over it, and they're curious and everything. So this gives me peace of mind knowing it's not going to suck any of them up. And for anyone who's curious of what the 600 gallon would look like as a paludarium, well, there you go. But actually, more importantly, you can sort of see back in there how intricate that back wood wall is. I can actually see fish swimming in and out of there right now. You know what, let me flip the camera inside and get a close-up on that. All right, so we're just inside the aquarium, just sort of taking you back, showing you that all that wood back there, that big wood wall, goes all the way across. And you can see it is quite deep back there. A lot going on all the way across. Okay, so I would say that's a solid 400 gallons out of there. So time to get the hoses back in here and get the polishing filter put on. Oh man, that is, I don't know if it comes up on camera, but from here it's so far back, that 4 feet front to back in that corner, seeing all that wood back there, all that intricate root. I really cannot wait to be able to get to where you can see it through the water as clear as you can see it like this. That is gonna be awesome. Even with 2 hoses going, I think this is one of those where I need the, you know, 2 hours later thing, you know, it's gonna take forever. But I think I'll go watch a YouTube video real quick. Well, not real quick, but maybe for half an hour, and see if this makes some progress. So what I see when I first come in and look at the 600 gallon Asian Jungle now is that there's an overall lighter complexion to the aquarium than before. So the water changes and the carbon has definitely reduced tannins, and it's lightened up the look of the tank. Because what was happening is, even though we have a jungle now of plants, which has softened the hardscape quite a bit, there is still a ton of hardscape in there, of which some of it you can see better now in the back. But with the dark substrate, and a large amount of dark hardscape, when the tannins were in there, it really gave the tank kind of a dark, ominous look to it. And I would say we've definitely achieved a lightening it up quite a bit, which is awesome. But the real goal is, can we see all the way back in the aquarium, all 4 feet? So if we look over the corner, you know, sure, you can see there's a gourami all the way in the back swimming in the wood. But the real test is when you get underneath the jungle canopy here in the middle. Can you see all the way back? We've got that island in the middle. We've got fish going around that, but then we've got that massive wall of wood in the back. And I can finally see through there to the back now. Now, is it as clear as I'd like it? Not yet, but it is a lot better. I mean, it's probably 80% of the way there as far as being able to see in the back. Now, once you get over here, you can see all the way in the back. So it does beg the question of how much of that extra 20% is water clarity and how much of it is actually lighting, dispersing, diffusing the lighting better throughout the aquarium. Now, that's something I've been tweaking on both of the double DIY builds, is with the lighting, and there's been a lot of progress there, but there's obviously tweaking to go. And what I mean by tweaking is moving the lights up and down and forward and back, and just getting the right spread, as well as angling the lights and everything. So that's the kind of work I'm looking on doing to see if we can get you know, enough light shining down on the back there as well as in the front of it to illuminate that big wall. But we definitely made a lot of progress. This tank has certainly come a long way. It's not even been a year yet, so that's pretty cool that it's come so far so fast. I mean, when it may not sound fast when I say, oh, almost a year, but when you have a really large ecosystem, a 600 gallon, it does take time. You know, it takes time to really get it dialed in. It takes time to really get established. So all things considered, it is moving along quite well. Let's get to the fish. So I know a lot of people comment on this tank. They say, man, you've got a whole bunch of female Boesmanis. Why don't you get some males? Well, yeah, the intent was to actually have males. But, you know, when you order fish online, I guess if they want to slip you all females, they can do it, and they did. And I do intend to go out and buy some Boesmani males, but obviously I'm going to have to go to the store so I can pick out the male myself. And unfortunately, even though I live between two large cities, there's not a lot of great fish stores around here. Local fish stores are something that they just, they are not like what they were for better part of my life. Definitely in my youth, but for a long time they were a lot better than they seem nowadays. There's some out there that are good for sure. Just unfortunately not that close to me, but I'm gonna have to make the drive out to one of the more decent ones and pick up some specific fish that I'm looking for. I am also ordering fish online for this and other aquariums as well, so we're gonna keep working up the stock. So we're gonna work up the male Boesmani in here, and I'm always looking for more mascara barbs to beef up that crew a little bit. I'm not sure with the trout danio. I mean, the three of them, they're fast swimmers and everything, and they're active, so they kind of do the job themselves. I don't know if I actually need any more of those. And I do have possibly the need for some more tiger barbs. Like, for example, these guys, they've been around for quite a while, and there's only three left. Yeah, 3 left out of a group of 6. So I may go through and beef up a few of the schooling fish. And I'm always looking for smaller schoolers to go in here. There's 30 harlequin rasbora in here, but you barely ever see them, you know, so you just always need a lot of those kind of fish in a tank like this. Like, there's 18 Panagara in here, and here's a couple up here, and as you can see, they're quite fat. And here's another one over here, and another one just skimped off over there. But as you can tell, even with 18 of them, it doesn't necessarily just stand out. You're not like, wow, this tank's full of Panagara. You might think that with the rainbow sharks, but between the different species of rainbow sharks, there's like 30 of them in here. And that's what it pretty much takes to really, really stand out. So basically looking to beef up some of those schools, like the Denison barbs. There's only 3 Denison barbs, and they don't have the impact on this tank that Denison barb usually have on aquariums, because they are such awesome looking, you know, fast swimming fish. It just doesn't have that effect here because the tank is so big and there's so much vegetation. But you know, it's in the name of the tank. We wanted a jungle tank, so that's to be expected. We have a jungle tank. So now it's time to just beef up the schools of fish a little bit more. There's that fine line between, you know, having the right amount of fish in there so that it looks awesome, but not overcrowded. I like something to look natural. I don't like it when it looks like the fish are just jam-packed in there. So gonna try to find that balance for this aquarium, but I definitely think we can add some more for sure. So I think what I'll do is I'll keep an eye out for some small rasbora species, you know, to augment in between these bigger guys. Touch up a few of the schools, a couple more tiger barbs, a couple more Denison barbs, couple more mascara barbs, and of course the male Boesmani. And that probably will do it for now, because originally I was thinking to put a large Asian barb species in here, but I have some other plans with the annex coming, so I'm going to hold off on that because I think I have a better plan for how to implement them. So one last look at the back there. I see some fish that are all the way in the back in the woods, so just sort of see there's a clown loach back there. Just went through there, and yeah, they all sort of disappear. There's a rainbow shark down there and a rasbora barb. They're pretty close in the back, so it's pretty cool that I'll have to check on camera when I'm editing, but right now I can see back there pretty well. Not perfect, but pretty well. So that is a big improvement for me, because you know, I enjoyed the heck out of this tank before, even when I couldn't see all the way back. It's just getting better and better. So like we always do in the aquarium basement, we try to continually improve the tanks over time and continue to dial them in. Obviously with the 600 gallon, it needed to become a jungle. We achieved that. And now we just need to get that water super clear, because the tank is 4 feet front to back, and to really appreciate the intricacies of that wood wall in the back and all these fish swimming through it, the water's got to be super clear. So we did some water changes, and we put the carbon in, and we can see an immediate reduction in the tannins in the water. Over time, the activated carbon will continue to remove tannins. Unfortunately, I only had about 2 days between when I added it, when I'm completing the video, so not enough time for it to do its thing. So obviously we'll check back in the future, especially after I get those new fish. You know, we'll combine that. We'll show the new fish. We'll show the update on the tank. Get after activating carbons at the time to work, and then also too, I may add some polishing filters to the sump as well. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how much of this is chemical and how much is particulate. I think it's mostly the tannins, but you know, keep an eye on that. At any rate, one thing I'm going to start shouting out in the videos as we get closer to September is the 2023 Keystone Clash. I'm going to be there again this year, and anyone who's a member or a subscriber, let me know if you're going to go there, and let me know what size t-shirt you wear or shirt you wear, and I'll be bringing a whole bunch of swag with me, and obviously giving it away to Aquarium members and patrons and subscribers. So that's all you got to do is just be one of those, and let me know if you're going to be there so I can bring the right amount of gear. As we get later in the year, I'll call it out early in the videos and everything like that, because we're way ahead of time right now, but just a heads up on that. And yes, I am working on the DIY build, making progress. The last video on it's a big one. You know, we're taking it all the way from just having the fiberglass done to drilling the holes for the sump, or for the internal filtration, doing the pond armor, the pond shield, doing the glass, the fill test. You know, there's a lot going into this one, so you're gonna see it in this video. The next part 4, goes all the way to the end, and then there'll be the premiere once it actually has fish and it's set up and scaped and everything like that. And last but not least, I am working on a 3,000 gallon. I know I've been saying that for a while. It's a huge undertaking. Everything with that tank is gigantic and, and not easy, you know. I got to climb in there. I'm really overhauling it. So all I can say is I'm pretty sure it'll be worth the wait, because it is getting a serious overhaul. And just the little things I've done so far, I can sort of envision the end, and it's going to be nice. We're finally going to get the 3,000 really everything it's always needed to truly shine. I mean, across the board, we're talking filtration changes, water flow changes, lighting changes, changing actually how the hoods are so they go up, emergent growth plants. It's going to be pretty insane. So hopefully it'll prove out in the end that it was worth the wait on getting that video out. And I think it's going to be like one of those mega videos too, one of those 45-minute long ones or something like that. But we'll see. At any rate, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.